Committee meeting at 6 o'clock to discuss specific police department personnel. Okay, let's rise for a moment of silence, followed by the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. I'm here. Mr. Jarrett. Mr. Karafinsky.
Here.
Mr. Lerner.
Here.
Mr. Mokia. Here. Ms. Troyani.
Here.
Ms. Wozniak.
Yes, here.
Okay. Mayor Burke is not here. Borough manager.
Here.
Okay, chief of police.
Here.
Solicitor. Here. Engineer is not here. No. DPW foreman is not here. Reporters. Fire chief.
Present.
Okay, code enforcement. Okay. Not here. Review and approve current agenda.
I just want to say, Reagan and I this afternoon realized we never officially did a motion item to allow Chief Strish to keep his service weapon. We talked about it, and I think everyone kind of said they were okay with it, but we never actually formally did it. There is no cost to the borough to do it, so if no one has any objection, I would ask if we could just add that on that item to approve that for it.
Anybody have an objection?
You need a motion to have it?
Just whoever makes the motion to approve the agenda with that addition.
I'll motion to approve the agenda with that addition.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the agenda as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We're approved. No presentation. Citizens correspondence, personal appeals, agenda items. Any of you have anything to discuss with us pertaining to things on the agenda? Not hearing any? We'll move on. Committee reports. I know, anybody have a committee report?
Just want to thank the borough manager and also our staff for that very nice ribbon cutting event down at Sponsors Park last weekend. Beautiful, the improvements were beautiful. A great weather day, it was just a very nice event. Thank you and thank your staff. Thank you for coming. Really had a good time.
And building on that, thank you for everyone, borough-wise, who was able to be there as well. I realize that schedules are tight and we can't all make it to everything, but I do appreciate having a nice council showing for that as well, and I know the community did too.
Okay. Bill? Anything?
Nothing other than, we had some issues. Jerry got home tonight, and the house at the end of 1600 Market Street is scheduled to come down Thursday. Tomorrow, we asked the contractor, he has all his permits and stuff, but it just comes that time. He's gonna come out tomorrow, and he's gonna put some section off that sidewalk area to protect anything. So that is scheduled to come down. Other than that, we just had a lot of other calls, nothing that serious, but holding our own. Unless you have some questions for me, that's all I have.
Questions? None? Chief? Any?
No, everybody has a copy of October's police report. Nothing else to add?
Okay. Any questions? Anything else to add about committee reports? All right, moving on. Business not ready for action. Chestnut Street vacation request.
So, see Angie walk in, I did. So Angie is here from Peter's office as well, if there are any questions for her. The simple piece of this is we do have a request from Decker Scrap Metal and Community Strategies Group for a section. It would be the extension of Chestnut Street below Canal Street to be vacated. At this point, on the Decker side, there's already a piece of house built well into it. So it was vacated in theory, if not in practice, quite some time ago. My understanding is that both parties are in the process of finalizing some stuff down there, but they are getting along and working out some things and looking at some different land swaps to make it so they're both able to do what it is that they're trying to do down there. I have no reason to advise against doing the vacation, so I would just ask if there's no objection, I would move forward with getting that the ordinance drafted. I know Angie, you were gonna work on getting me the description language, and council's okay with that, right? But any questions on any of that, anything for me or for Angie? Anyone have any issues with me working on that ordinance and having it ready for you to vote to advertise in 2 weeks?
No.
Oh,
That was easy, Angie.
Thank you.
you got it. Okay, the insurance claim.
All right, so, and Ms. Shiner is here this evening as well. She had come in and, if I'm saying something wrong, stop me, okay?
Okay, could you speak up a little bit? I can hardly hear you.
Okay, is this volume good? I don't think I'm yelling at you either. Is this good volume?
Yes.
Okay, so,
Yes.
put it down, Jay. So, a couple weeks back, Ms. Shiner had come in and said that after speaking with folks at Baja, that Baja was going to submit an insurance claim on her behalf from the damage that was done to her home at a recent storm, and had asked the borough do the same as well. So I did reach out to our insurance broker
Right.
through EHD, and it took a little bit of back and forth, which is why it took 2 meetings to get to this meeting, having council hearing about it, but I was able to get some answers back. They did say that it was not very likely that the insurance would pick up that claim, that they would more than likely deny it, but that if the borough wanted to, we could, give it a shot and submit. Now, if I'm submitting something that's not specifically for borough property, I'm not gonna do that without council at least hearing about it, having a chance to say, wait a second, don't do that. Obviously, filing claims theoretically could have an impact on future rates. Now, just doing a one-off on a claim is not likely to. If we had a pattern of repeated claims for the same thing, that's where those rates could jump. So I just wanted council to be aware, and at this point, see if anyone has any issue with us submitting that claim, and if they don't, then, I'll work with Ms. Shiner and we'll get all the information from her that the insurance needs and submit the claim and see if it goes anywhere. And again, no promises to you on where it would go,
Right. But I did want to say this, that I do think it's a responsibility of the sewer department and the town. You need to get together jointly and take care of this. Those pipes are all, the sewer pipes and water lines are right by my house. That is why my house got flooded. Second time, everything's ruined. My hardwood floors, I had my sunroom all pulled up, everything's a mess. And I have to fight for this. I pay the taxes in this town. I pay everything I suppose. I've worked in this town for all these years. And I think it's a shitty way of treating your residents here. Also, you say about street cleaning. Well, why don't we have a method of street cleaning here in this town where they have in Bloom? Well, if they have a schedule down, so it's done every week, and if those people don't get their cars off the street, they're fine. So you can make money at the same time that you're doing street cleaning.
I'm sorry to
And
interrupt.
I've never seen a street cleaner come down my street ever.
So we do not do every borough street. We couldn't
It's just that
do
main
every borough street. We have a set schedule, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how that schedule is set. That's been the schedule of streets that we've had for a very long time. But there's a set schedule that get done regularly, but the rest of the borough, the guys do one pass of the entire borough, usually right at, late winter, early spring. It's a one-off for most borough streets. Again, there just would not be a way that we could do every single street. And I'm not saying whether we should be doing
Right,
yours,
that's
but
what they're doing in Bloom, and if people don't move their cars, $20 fine.
I don't know if Bloomsburg does every single one of their streets or not. I couldn't begin to speak on exactly how
I
Bloomsburg
think
does
they
it.
do have a crew, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, but I just wanted to say, that I've just been beating my gums for 3.5 months and nothing. And I just think you hope, probably I drop dead or something happens to me, so you don't have to do anything. I walk away. That's why tonight I had to come to this meeting, although I feel in a sense it's useless, you know?
I know that we have had a gentleman in here with the engineer that has looked into our pipe system and has been
He's come
working,
many times
working
today.
very hard to try to figure out a
Right.
solution that would be reasonable and that would increase the volume to something that would even put a notch in if we had a storm like that again, so.
I can't believe.
Oh, I'm sorry, we did have an engineer in.
Yeah, I
and he's-
know.
Yeah, and he's done a lot of work.
I let him into my house.
Yeah, he's done a lot of work trying to explore different ways as far as like underwater storage or, putting holes in bigger pipes, so he has been working pretty hard on trying to find a solution.
Those pipes, all those pipes are directed right by my house. They're not gonna pull that up, it's gonna be $1 million job. So my house is there. Probably the best thing is to demolish the house, because I wouldn't even sell this house. Even when it was flooded 6 years ago, I wouldn't have the balls to say, coming to my house is perfect.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, it's ruined forever.
I know he has been trying to explore all of our options and trying to help us figure something out that would be affordable for the borough and also
Right.
beneficial for everybody and not diverting it into making it someone else's problem then.
Well, it's not, even if you built a moat around my house, away from those drains, but the thing is, the drains are there, and they fill up. And I went out the other day, and it was pouring down from Spring Garden Avenue, but the other side of the road was totally dry, there was no road, it was running down that side. I'm a time bomb right there. Every time there's a storm, I have to worry about it. So, and if it was your home, you would fight for it.
No,
That's what I have to do.
I certainly
It's
understand.
aggravating as hell. So,
Anybody,
anyway, you
anybody
put a
object?
claim in, and that, the sewer department have put in a claim too, and they said, useless, useless. You're saying the basic same thing. I don't know how people can get set up like that. If you have insurance to cover you for the borough, why isn't it there for predicaments like this?
Well, in this specific instance, the insurance is more than likely going to say, because it's not our stormwater
Yeah.
system that was in place in front of your house,
But
that's
they
why.
said, this is what they told me, the sewer told me, they didn't even know about that flood that was done 5 years ago. But I came to a town meeting then, Jay was here, right? And I remember I said about it, I was really bloody upset then. And then the same thing happens to me again, they said, that's a storm, it's a 1,000-year storm, it never happened again. And it happened again,
It happened twice,
Yeah.
but they are right, it's a 1,000-year storm, John.
yeah.
It's impossible
So
to
it's never
engineer.
gonna change, it could happen another year.
If there's another 1,000-year storm, it certainly could, yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
but it also could happen next week.
Right.
It could,
Our life, our world is very, very different.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I want you to pay attention to me when I say this. I'm never gonna let this go, I'm gonna be a dog with a bone.
Well, Teresa said, Joan, we had a gentleman here at a meeting about a month ago.
Yeah.
And he's working on some stuff, but
Yeah.
quite frankly, it's impossible to engineer for that kind of storm. The pipes.
I know, you would have to build my house up higher, but listen, that house has been there 75 years. And it had a right to be there because we've been paying bloody taxes for it.
But we
Well,
had.
let's hope it's resolved. Hopefully your consciences will do the right thing. I told Dora, do the right thing. And then she said, she was gonna put in a claim, and she said, go up and tell Damon to do the same thing. She said, it's the right thing to do.
We'll put in
If they
a-
refuse it, then I don't know what I'll do then. And then also, you know what happened too? I hired somebody to come, and I got screwed there. He scammed me. He took my money.
Yeah, I
So
saw
once
that in the
again,
paper.
I had to go to court. I had to track him down. Thank God the police department is good here, and they found him. But as soon as I said his name, they went, oh my God, they knew him. So there again, I wasn't gonna stop on him because he's done it to other people. Because he had no guilt whatsoever about taking the money. But thank God he paid me back and he had to pay the court costs. But it's the aggravation, you have to go and fighting. I should be relaxing in an armchair rather than having to come and do all this bullshit. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody have an objection to the borough submitting an insurance claim on our behalf?
No.
No, okay, we will submit an insurance claim on your behalf.
Ms. Shiner,
Ms. Shiner.
Ms. Shiner. I will call you if I need anything from you from the insurance, okay? I have your number, so I will call you. if I-
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, bye-bye. Appreciate this.
Have a nice night, dear.
She said, I love that.
Like raised?
I checked with the county, because the money was through the county, and they don't have any flood monies left, plus her home isn't in a floodplain.
Right, I just thought.
No, I had the same thought, but I appreciate you asking.
Have a good night.
Yeah,
Yep.
it is now. My house got flooded 3 times on Orange Street.
Baja Rep.
So, we have a
Nope, they won't do
Baja
nothing about
spot
it.
So it's
open
probably
this
the
year,
roads
it's
down
down
there.
to fall,
2019
correct?
started.
So, you know,
So it's
it's up to
probably
council
roads.
what,
Then they're done.
what you'd like to do with that. He is interested in continuing to serve, it's up to council, do you want to just reappoint him? Do you want to at least, interview him on anything before reappointing him? Do you want to put out for, if anyone else is interested?
Have we received any complaints about Mr. Kishmo's service?
Well, we have a current possible budget ongoing issue that you might want an answer to before blindly reappointing him. I mean, that's up to the 7 of you, but I don't know if you want somebody to answer that question before appointing them for another 5 years or not, but.
Well, that certainly wouldn't hurt, but I will add that he is by far the most knowledgeable
I
as to the operations of the sewer plant, because he was the main operator. at Dallas, and he understands the operations there very well, much more than anything before and enough, so I will get him corrected.
Participate. Yes or no?
Do we want to advertise or not?
It's from the new.
I think we
And if we don't, do we want to bring him in, ask him some questions before we?
Again, we're gonna have a litmus test for the legal case. We've done it before.
I'm sorry.
I don't think that's necessary. And quite frankly, you know, an applicant could say whatever he thinks or she thinks he wants to hear in an interview. That doesn't mean that's how we're gonna vote.
No, but you can at least make a claim for asking somebody to make a certain commitment publicly.
If you guys want to interview, go ahead. I'll see what
Any suggestions? Comments? What do we want to do?
Kind of Teresa, I don't think.
I'm not knowledgeable enough
Yeah.
about the position or talk to anybody about what kind of job he's done to make a yes to reappoint him, so I'd like a little time to do that, and also, I don't know if anybody else is interested. Is anybody else interested? I don't know, I don't
Usually,
read on that.
usually when we put this out, we get 2 or 3. You know,
mainly because of the paycheck that goes with it.
well, sure.
You know what I'm saying? If you got somebody.
Did you
who's
say
supposed
there
to be-
was something that we should
The,
comment?
I don't know if I wanna say this out loud right now or not.
Yeah. Again, that kind of goes back to what Teresa said, like, we're not knowledgeable.
No,
so
I can't- I
don't
can't
know.
I mean, I did share it with all of you previously about a potential Baja goal and actions they might take to fulfill that goal.
Yeah. I think this, I would, if we could push this until, I'd like to advertise. Yeah, I'd like to do
Yeah.
some more investigating.
If we advertise and we get more than one application, then we would interview anyway.
I mean, what I can do is I can advertise, and I can say that any interested applicants need to be at the December 2nd meeting. So, you know, they're due by the, not the 2nd, 1st, they're due by that Friday before, and that they need to commit to being here for the meeting on the 1st to answer any questions the council might have before making a decision.
Thank you.
Is that I mean, we're not appointing him or anyone tonight regardless, so this isn't slowing that down any, it's.
No, that sounds reasonable to me, that's what I'd like to do.
Does that work for everybody? This means yes, this means no. Yes? No. Okay, that's reasonable, we'll let you do it. Okay, there is no old business, there are no ordinances or resolutions. Consent agenda. You've had it to review, it's only 2 items instead of 5 at one point.
Record definitely was, I think we got down to like AA once, so.
Yeah, okay. All right, so, I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. I have a motion by Ms. Triani, do we have a second? Second by Mr. Mokia. Okay, all those in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign, it's approved. Okay, item 11, new business, consider and take action to approve the chief of police employment agreement between the Borough of Berwick and Mr. Reagan Rafferty. Any additional discussion?
Motion.
I have a motion.
That's it?
Who got, Ray has it, Ray's got the second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign, it's approved.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, number 2, consider and take action to approve payment in the amount of $406,814.35 to Berwick Area Joint Sewer Authority, representing outstanding share owed for the MS4 obligations.
I have a question. How much more do we have to pay for this MS4 nonsense?
So we have one outstanding project, which would be on the west end of Test Track Park near the river. That should get us to our mandated, reduction in sediment and all that fun stuff. That there, the initial engineering estimate on that was around $250,000 we shared between the two of us. We do still have a grant application out on that. And we just be clear, none of this was on budget or unexpected. I mean, so I get it.
It's a big number.
It is, it's a huge number, but I just wanna be really, there's been a lot of really good work done between the borough and Baja to keep this number as low as possible. There were times when we thought that we could be looking at a couple $2 million each to get through all of this, and it's going to come in less than half of that when all is said and done. It doesn't make it any more fun to spend the money, but when the state gets to make mandates and not offer funding for it, that's what we find ourselves in, so.
So there will be an additional small cost of around $100 or so for guardrailing and so on.
Yeah, we have a little bit of safety stuff still for this, so for the Eaton Street project, there will still be what we pay our third party for the preparation of all of our reporting to make sure that we're doing that for one more year. And then whatever our out-of-pocket cost ends up being for this last project, again, fingers crossed, we're hoping to have an announcement on that grant application. What I'm hearing is possibly this week, but even if not, we do still have more than that much set aside to use for MS4 expenses.
You just said our last project. Is it in fact our last project? Is there more nonsense to come on this?
It is our last project for the current round. There is nobody committing to what it's going to look like. What we're hearing is it seems more likely than not that the next round of deployment will not be these massive projects, but at the end of the day, until they release the,
And they being the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection.
yeah, EPA, yeah.
DEP, whatever they are.
So, hopefully, we're not gonna look at this again, cause, we're not gonna be looking at, CLFRF dollars again to make it possible, more than likely, but thankfully we had them this time around, so, it made it doable, but I'm with you, it's a big number. It is a number that we 100% owe,
Did the project work 3 months ago when her house got flooded?
I mean, to be clear, her house wasn't in that
I know,
zone.
but did it work for the people that are in Park Place?
I didn't get any complaints from water down there that specific storm, and the system carried an awful lot of water. I was down there during, and it was carrying a good bit that would have otherwise just been inundating the area.
Don't misunderstand, that project we did for Park Place, that was a good project, and it was a problem that was alleviated. It's the nonsense of weighing how much we sweep off the streets and getting points.
Well, if we were allowed to actually weigh how much we swept off the streets, we wouldn't have to do a single other project, but the issue is that they don't allow us to do actual measurements, they make us use a formula that, and cap us off at a percent of what we actually do.
Bureaucrats can make it.
Sure.
Yeah, I get it. And that's what makes me angry.
Before
That Park Place project, that was a long time coming, and I'm glad we did it.
And I mean,
Before we did Park Place, I was down there with Damien, when it was raining, and it was running ankle deep in yards. And the yards by the railroad track, it was knee deep in their yards. The last rain we had, I mean, they had runoff from their roofs and stuff, but they didn't have runoff from.
Just as long as it
everywhere.
works,
So it
spend
worked so
that
far.
kind of money, make sure it works.
But we
But
spent
it's
the
a
money, but
requirement
we also
anyway.
got the
We
points
have to.
for the other nonsense.
Right, but if we spend that money, we should spend a little more to make sure it works.
You know? I think
And
We're
to
talking
be-
about
and to be
these
clear, too-
1,000-year storms every 5-6 years, we better make sure we have enough pipe
Yeah,
in
but
the
then,
ground
I mean,
to.
and doesn't Jack work with an engineer, and Jack is the one who then helps pick what projects are, right?
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, that was. So,
I'm confident in his
and to be
ability.
clear, I don't, and like we said earlier, there's no way to engineer for a 500,000 year storm. Like, at the end of the day, when you get storms like that in an urbanized area, which the borough of Berwick is an urbanized area, unless you're willing to literally rip up every street in town and put in, you know, a pipe big enough in the middle to walk through, it's not going to hold the water that comes in those massive storms. You know, when we get 6-7 inches in an hour and a half,
Or have the land to put holding tanks, which we don't.
So it's a continued effort to make sure we're doing things better, and, you know, even looking at, Mrs. Shiner's problem there, part of it is making sure the pipes in the area are cleaned out consistently, which is an issue as well. There's a lot of pieces to it, and it's, you know, always striving to do better, and that, no, that's not going to fix every single storm that ever might come down there, but I know it made a huge improvement for that massive storm that we had.
And the Eaton Street project, the intent on that was to conform, to help our MS4 requirements. The fact that it also took the flooding off of Park Place Village was a bonus for us. We killed two birds with one stone. It didn't cost.
I just wanna make sure it worked for that kind of money that we.
Yeah, it's working. Okay, next time it rains hard, go down there and check it out, it works.
And I do, and the next one should have some benefit to the far end of Park Place Village as well. Again, that won't be the, primary purpose, because the primary purpose of this is meeting these MS4
We
requirements.
put
but-
more pollinator gardens in by the incinerator.
Well, we'll talk about that later. You want to respond to that, Tom?
All right.
Apples and shoes, like that doesn't even.
Can I have a motion to pay $406,814.35 to Baja for our half of the obligation on the North Eaton Street?
I make a motion.
I just want to be really clear, it's not on the North Eaton
No,
Street
no,
project
it's-
exclusively, it's on various MS4
Yeah,
obligations.
a lot of MS, the biggest chunk is.
Yeah, that is the significant majority.
Yeah. All right, okay, I have a motion from Mr. Karafinsky, do I have a second?
Second.
I think Tom beat you. Okay, I have a second from Tom, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, it's approved. We have one added item. Was Ken Strish, having retired, we talked about it and said he could keep the service weapon, but we didn't make it a motion. We need to do that. Would someone make that motion for Ken to be able to keep his service?
So I would consider and take action to approve request of Ken Strish to be granted possession of his service weapon. I'll make that
Okay.
motion.
Okay,
Second.
okay, we have,
Yep.
okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, it's approved. All right, item 13, citizen correspondence, personal appeals, non-agenda items. Is there anything any of you want to talk to us about? Name and address, please.
Don Smith, 1738 Spring Garden Avenue, across from Tractor Trailer Court. I'm not prepared to say everything I wanted to say, because with my conversation with Codes today, with Greg Harkins being off today, I didn't get a chance to talk to him about his dealings with the people that owns the trailer park in Milton. So, where that stands, I don't know. But with my conversation with Kurt, and it was a good conversation, Kurt filled me in on procedures, on a couple things that we were talking about. So I just wanna urge council that when they do this zoning coming up, put some real strong stuff in there for landlords. from what Kurt's been telling me, he goes in, and I see this, and I mentioned this at other meetings here about the guy across the street. They go in, they cite him, cleans it up, and 3 months later, they're citing him. He cleans it up, 3 months later, they're citing him. The guy across the street, they come in every year, he cleans up. Next year, it's the same way. The next year, it's the same way. And now he's starting to pile stuff along the outside of the trailer again. It's not much, but it's beginning. I see cardboard in the back. And I'm pretty sure we've still got rats. I'm pretty sure they're there. I have not seen anybody other than the one tenant with Ehrlich. They have, I see them over there occasionally, but I have not seen nobody else around. They could come when I'm not home, sup some coffee at McDonald's, I don't know. But
Just so you're aware, we don't expect a zoning package to come back to us until probably March or April. And it could even be it might even be May, it depends on when they get all their work done. And at that point, we'll have it, we'll look at it, we'll discuss it. I made a note for myself here too, on your item here. And when we get it finalized the way we want it, then it will go out publicly for the public to comment on. And then it'll come back to us after public comments. If we need to make changes, we will, and then we'll vote on it. All right, so we're looking, we're
yeah,
gonna be down the road quite a ways here.
yes, I understand that.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand that, it's not a tomorrow deal.
Right.
I get that. I wanna put it out there, and I'm gonna stay on it, because
Oh, that's fine.
something's gotta be done. Something has gotta be done about these landlords that don't give a diddly squat about the neighborhood.
Okay, all right.
I think part of the problem, Don, is with the magistrate too, because,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know what we legally can do in changing any ordinances to have a better outcome for you. When the magistrate, and they might very well be following the law, I can't say they're not, I don't know enough about what the law is, but there has to be a tougher enforcement from them.
Tough
From that
enforcement's a
level.
good phrase, yes, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know Codes is quite often frustrated about the outcome with the magistrate's offices about
I'm sure.
stuff like this.
Yes, I'm sure of that. With our conversation today with Ernest, I picked that out too, yeah. But I'm not, the trash around is one thing, rats is something else. There's not one of you people in here wants that in your neighborhood. That's health issue. That's a health issue. And it just looks like it's tough to get rid of. I just seen in the paper where one of the tenants has something coming up in December about rodents and cockroaches and stuff. And if I was a betting individual, there'd probably be some cockroaches over there too. I would, from what I see. But, and I don't wanna put pressure on the people for the most part. This one guy, he's blaming everybody. He blames the little shack on that corner. That's the problem. I said to him when Greg was there taking pictures the other week, 3 weeks ago, and I said to him, you know, it's not here. It could be here, but take a look. And I'll tell you a quick conversation. One of the tenants in the trailer park was walking down the street and I had the dog out. And she said to him out something about the dog, and I couldn't hear her, so I walked over to the curb, and it was a friendly conversation. It was just, oh, the dog this and da-da-da-da. And I said, let me ask you a question. I said, do you have trouble with rats? She goes, no. I said, let me show you the picture. Me stomping one in the road that the cat chased out of the trailer park behind the truck. So I showed it to her. Because I didn't have the video on my phone yet. Then I went in the house and put the video of me and the cat. Anyway, she says, yeah, we got rat bait under the porch. So I said, okay. We don't have trouble, but we got rat bait under the porch. But I just want to impress the fact that I think we need to be stronger on enforcement is the word, and they need to have the backing ability, the whatever to do it.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm Chip Stalega.
Address?
210 Park Boulevard. Last night, Lackawanna County did call a code blue, and as we do know, there is a need in our borough for a code blue shelter. We had one last year, and there's Community Resource Connections have found another location to possibly do it. They have met with code enforcement and your building code official. Larry Grace had 2 things that he asked them to do, and they're already done. The third thing is, we know they'd have to go to a zoning hearing. It's not addressed in our ordinance, so it's called a special exception, as you probably already know. So they're gonna have to go to a zoning hearing board to get the special exception. I'm just asking if it could possibly, and I'm not here for them or anybody, but if the mayor or somebody could do the emergency proclamation that it would be allowed when the temperature goes below 20 degrees, that they could have a warming shelter in the town. There's people living under the bridge yet, and unfortunately, it's an issue.
All right, our position, I believe, and I'll speak for myself, not for the entire council, is that last year, when the Code Blue shelter was closing, okay, multiple of us said that start now and work on what you wanna do next year. We're at next year now, next winter. And nothing was done. And we told them, don't come to us in November.
Well, guess what, it's November.
And say, we need an emergency Code Blue shelter. When you've got
Yes?
7 or 8 months to work on getting something done. And nothing was done.
You are correct, 100%.
All right, so that's our problem. You have to go through zoning, that's fine. And if you get approval and everything works, then you'll have your Code Blue shelter. I don't know that we are predisposed to do anything more than that. We got burned last year.
I'm 100% with you on that.
Okay, so we're reluctant to look at alternatives. Well, let's see what the process is, and then we can talk about it again in another meeting.
Yep, I agree with that 100%. I would just ask, because I am code official, code enforcement, zoning, building codes, and I said, do it the proper way. You gotta go to zoning. You have to go there, you gotta put in a zoning hearing. It's not addressed in the ordinance anyway. But I do think that they do have a plan, and maybe you wanna hear it before a little bit from the nonprofit that's doing it. It's a separate organization now.
As the three.
We are not them.
Yes.
We're not affiliated
Yeah,
with the people
they're
from
a
last
separate
year.
organization, and did you get it scheduled for December 27th? 18th is the next zoning hearing, which we're gonna have some cold nights.
Yeah.
And, you know,
What?
yeah.
The police were down there not too long ago, and they took, what was it, Gape with you?
No, that was us.
Well,
That was us.
but the people down there were offered shelter, accommodations, and one group said yes, and the other group said no, and they're still living down there. So, you know, you can't help people.
I'm sorry,
who don't
I
wanna
was
be
there, and no, we offered them a list of shelters that
Okay.
were not open yet.
Okay.
So they didn't have resources that day. They are still in our community, they're still unhoused, they have scattered.
Take the podium.
So, first of all, my point is, my first point would be that I was a volunteer at the Code Blue last year.
Sorry, could you just say your name so everybody knows
Tracy
who you are?
Larish.
And your address?
Nescapeck, I'm in Nescapeck Township. We are Community Resource Connections. We are not the same organization that ran it last year. We were volunteers there, we got experience there, we are not the same. So when you say that you gave them warning, you told them, you know, whatever, how to run it and stuff, that was not us. We didn't have that warning. When we found out 2 weeks ago that it was not gonna happen in our community, we jumped into action. I mean, you can check with codes and zoning, we jumped into action, filled out the paperwork, you know, paid for the appeal, got the walkthrough, did everything exactly the way you guys are requiring it. But we are down to the wire because nobody knew, it was not transparent that there would not be one in our area.
Okay, just so you know, what we did last year, was probably not legal. We violated our own rules
I
to do
understand
that, and we don't wanna violate our own rules.
And that's why we
again.
we have Eagle Hose on board that are willing to, you know, donate their social hall to us, their banquet hall to run this. It's, like I said, we got it up to everything's to standard.
We're not against the Code Blue shelter,
Sure.
okay? It's fine, but it's gotta be done right, all right?
I understand
And you've got a hearing coming up, let's wait for the hearing.
December 18th.
Yeah, I understand that, I know it's gonna be cold up until, you know, starting this first or second week in December. But to do an emergency, again, it violates our rules. Technically, it could be, it's against the law. I mean, Damien and I approved it until we get out of council meeting.
Right.
We could have been hung out to dry, all right? Council approved it. Council could have been hung out to dry, because it was not technically legal. But we turned a blind eye to it and let it happen.
I understand that.
Okay, and that's why we said last year,
Yeah.
do it, okay? The fact that it wasn't done isn't our fault,
Correct.
okay? And it's not your fault,
Right.
all right? But we gotta do it right. This
Right.
way, all the bases are covered, everything's above board. And I don't think, I know the 18th is gonna be inconvenient until then, but if it
Inconvenient
can.
isn't, my concern is the dangerous, it's dangerous. You know, we have a police department for when we have, you know, situations that our citizens are in danger. We have, ambulances for when our citizens are in danger. We don't have, if there's citizens that lose their heat because their furnace goes out, where are you gonna send them if they don't have? Are you gonna send them to the emergency room, cause they won't keep them? This is also what Code Blue is. It's not just about our people that are unhoused.
We know
You
that.
don't have an emergency response for people without heat. And that's what we're offering. That's what we're able to do. We're able to open as early as Wednesday with a building that is code compliant. That's what we're offering, with the volunteers able and willing to run it, and without asking for any financial support.
When you said you guys went down, and offered them resources,
Yes.
but they weren't open yet, when do those, what are those other resources, and when do they open, like, when is it?
So the
past a
first one,
certain-
to my understanding, the first local one is Tuesday, tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll be open tomorrow.
One of the issues we're gonna run into with that is, it is a separate, it's not co-ed this year. The Bloomsburg one will not be co-ed. If your parents lose their heat, and their husband and wife, and they have to go down to Bloomsburg to seek shelter, they will be separated.
We are sympathetic. Again, the issue is we gotta do it right. The fastest we could act would be to put it on the agenda for the next meeting, and that's December 1st. And then, zoning comes along on the 18th. Now, maybe we could ask zoning to move their meeting up.
Okay.
That's possible, whether they can
I
or,
respect that. That's-
whether they can or not is on, we don't know.
There's advertising requirements and making sure
I
the
understand.
zoning board's actually available a day different than what they're asked, but we can certainly talk with Kurt tomorrow, if that's what council wants to see happen, we can do a separate or earlier, zoning. And again, there's moving pieces to all that, it's solicitors available, it's stenographers available,
understand.
there's a lot to it, but we can certainly look into that.
Would it be possible to issue a temporary occupancy permit, and then when the hearing takes place, decide then whether occupancy will continue at that point or not?
We did that last year.
Yeah, it's
And
a zoning.
not to be ignorant.
For another
Tracy,
person.
Right, but you were part of that
I was a
group last
volunteer
year,
there.
correct?
Yes, I was a
And you were
volunteer.
here every meeting with Frank,
I was
correct?
here to one.
Were you here towards the end when
No.
Kunal and
No.
Carla, and we were told, you guys were told to get your stuff together for.
No.
No.
She wasn't here, and you said you were a volunteer, you weren't
Correct.
part of that
Correct.
organization. You were
Correct, and then we split off,
volunteer.
and we started our own nonprofit now, yeah.
Yeah, but
And we know that,
And our
according to
direct
Larry
community.
Priest, that it's up to standards, that's why I asked if it's possible to issue a temporary occupancy permit pending the meeting with.
Well, the only thing we could do at this point would be put it on the agenda for the next meeting, and maybe by then we'll have an idea of what zoning can be. Doesn't mean we have to act on it at the next meeting. On the agenda, we can always table it. But, we could do that. Is that acceptable? Put it on the agenda for the next meeting?
Sure. Your policies only takes one person to even ask that, so.
Okay, yeah. So
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you,
you're welcome.
And I will, we'll talk to Kurt first thing tomorrow as far as bumping up the date as well.
thank you.
Anything else anybody wants to address us about? Okay, not hearing anything, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion, do I have a second? We're adjourned.
Who's the second?
Thank you for that.